Well, hey there, and welcome to Train Signal. My name's Ed Lieberman, and I want to be the first to welcome you to my course on Windows Server 2012, Administering. And I want you to focus on the word administering, because this particular course is considered by some to be kind of like part 2 of a 3-part set. Okay, and let me explain this 3-part set to you real quick. If you're looking to get Microsoft MCSA certified on Windows Server 2012, there are 3 exams that you would have to take. Now, I don't want you to get too caught up on the certification side of things. We'll cover that in more detail later on in the course. But just the real high-level overview is we start off with the 410 exam, which is on installing and configuring. Okay, so that would have been the first course in this, this little 3-part mini-series that I'm talking about. So that first course is Windows Server 2012, installing and configuring, and it will help guide you towards getting ready for the 410 exam. Whereas this course is based off of the objectives for the 411 exam, which is called Windows Server 2012, Administering. Okay, so just keep in mind that that's the focus here. We're going to be talking all about administering Windows Server 2012. And if you still need to learn how to install and configure it, well, go back and watch the 410 course. Now, if I'm going to mention, that this is part 2, and I've talked about part 1, I might as well tell you about part 3. Okay, and since the exams are 410 and 411, you can probably guess that the third exam is 412. And that's called Windows Server 2012 Advanced Services. So that's where you would go after this one. All right, so outside of that, there's not much else that I want to tell you right now. I just want to introduce you to 2 other aspects of the course just so that you can kind of follow along. Number 1 is that there is a fictional company called Globomantics. We use that company a lot around here at Train Signal, and I will use that company as my example when I'm trying to teach you some of this stuff. So if you hear me making reference to, oh, here we're doing this in the Globomantics network or that in the Globomantics network, and you're thinking, what is this Globomantics network? Well, now you know what it is. It's just a fictional company that I'm using for the purposes of maybe being able to give you some examples or some scenario. All right. The second thing is when it comes to following along with regards to lab setup. There is nothing over-the-top fancy that you need in the way of lab setup to follow along with this course. Most everything that I'm going to do in this course, you could theoretically get away with a single Windows Server 2012 computer. Now, not all the way through. I mean, that's for the most part. There are certain places where a client computer may be needed to test connectivity. You may need a second server to test connectivity. In my environment here, I actually technically have 5 machines. Okay, I have 2 domain controllers, 2 member servers, and then a client machine. And honestly, I may even expand into a 3rd member server before I'm done with kind of going through everything in this course because, well, I just don't want to over-clutter too many of the machines for you. But if you want to follow along, you don't have to do everything exactly the way I do. And I will tell you that in each lesson, I'll tell you exactly what's needed if you want to follow along. All right, so that's pretty much it. We need to go learn how to administer Windows Server 2012, so let's go ahead and get started.